Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to another video. My name is Sarah, and if you're new here, I'm a chronically ill mom, rock star, with the tenacious as a tick vibes, okay? We like to do things homemade here. I'm in my from scratch era, okay? And we are going to start the day. Oh, hang on, I left over. So I made meatball subs. So I made the sub rolls the other day, and I had leftover dough, so I purposely made another loaf of, it's not even pretty, but I was out of breadcrumbs. So with the rest of the sub bun dough, I just made a humongous loaf of bread that I'm gonna crumble up and turn into breadcrumbs because I have a lot of big meal prepping projects coming. And so today is basically kind of getting all the components ready because that's a lot of work, and being a miserably painful lady, I gotta work in stages. So let's get this done. We're gonna get this bread. I have two of these. They're huge. Because if you're gonna make breadcrumbs, you might as well make enough for what you need and some to be left in the freezer for when you need them next time. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these done, and then we'll check in on my next project. Okay, if you're new here, ignore this. This is some of the stock up we did yesterday, and it's just too heavy for me to put things away. But over here, I thought my Nesco pan would be big enough to fit this when I was at the store. This is totally frozen ground beef. It's 10 pounds. So this is the biggest vessel I have to thaw it. So I filled it up. I'm gonna like roll it and flip it and all the things throughout the day to try to get it defrosted enough to work with it. Because obviously it's a 10-pound fully frozen rock hard log of meat. So I have a bunch of different projects I want to tackle with this, but this is the first step, right? Getting it thawed. Then I went through the freezer, and I'm going to show you some of the things I pulled out of my freezer. Okay, some easy meals that I had in the freezer still are these cracked chicken stuffed pillows. It's just like a dough, a bun filled with cracked chicken that I made. And then here's a couple more meatball subs that I made, like meatball sub Hot Pockets. And then I had 2 of these containers of bone broth frozen, so I'm just pulling those out to thaw and to use for whatever I need them for. So there's a couple convenience meals going in the fridge already because the other prep is going to take all day long. Okay, oh, and then literally I have stuff everywhere. Over here I have 2 packs of Little Smokies in water to thaw, and a ham, Black Forest ham that I slice. I get a big log of that and I slice it for like sandwich meat, but I think I'm going to do like pigs in a blanket and then maybe little ham and cheese roll up type things. So those are also thawing. So I'm kind of at a standstill while I wait for the meat to thaw enough to work with it. All right, I'm coming to you from upstairs in my comfy chair. We're going to have goofy angles and lighting. It's just what it is, okay? I enlisted, I don't like to ask for help. I like to just do the things and then generally suffer majorly. It's a character flaw, okay? I'm working on it. And by working on it, I mean I asked the twins to dice all the onions for me. So I actually ended up buying 2 bags of onions from Sam's Club. And if you know anything about onions from Sam's Club or Costco, they're generally, like, the onions themselves are huge, like monster onions, right? Well, and I got 2 bags, so there's like, I don't know, 10, 15 pounds in each bag, probably. But anyway, the point is, I did that because if you watch a different previous videos, I got the carrots done, some celery done, and bell peppers. I like to dice them and then toss them in the freezer so I have them easy accessible for recipes and things. Because like I said, we cook mostly from scratch here, and just those are my convenience foods, right? My convenience foods are having veggies chopped, meat prepped, different things like that. So I enlisted their help. They each are chopping 5 mega huge onions, and 5 of the onions filled a whole gallon size Ziploc bag. So one kid is already done, and then the other one took over. Her poor eyes were she looks terrible. I feel bad, but she's a trooper and they both are. But anyway, so 5-pound bag, no, 1-gallon size bag full of diced onions. I'm going to go down now and start working on getting them caramelized. Like I said, today is like the steps. We're just working slow, steady steps. We're going to get those caramelized. Then we're going to work on making homemade puff pastry dough. And I think I'm going to do a double batch because we'll see. I might need a double batch, I might not. But what we're going to do is make caramelized onion feta bites. It's a copycat from Trader Joe's. We love, love, love those. But making them myself is way cheaper. And honestly, even though they are incredible from Trader Joe's, these are better because they don't taste like the packaging. I'm telling you, when you switch over, you will realize how much things taste like the packaging they come in. And also, it's cheaper, it tastes better, it's better for you, no preservatives, none of that crap. So that's the end goal, caramelized onion feta bites. But in order to do that, the onions have to be diced, the onions have to be caramelized. I have to make the feta cream cheese, it's a mixture. You gotta make that. Yeah, like I said, I'm making the puff pastry. I don't buy the box stuff. It's way too expensive for what it is. And it's actually really easy, but it's a lot of labor for cripply me. I can't roll out dough that much. You do a lot of dough rolling, folding, rolling, so you get all those delicious flaky layers. So I will also have to enlist some help with that. My husband is gone today. He's busy. So we'll see. But if we get the caramelized onions done, then the other stuff is just kind of plopping, So, my break is done. My breadcrumbs should be just about done drying out in the oven. I would go shake them up again. I've shaken them up once or twice. It's just on low, 200 degrees, 250, and till they're dry. So, the tube of beef, I've moved that. I flipped it. I've rolled it. I flipped it. I rolled it. We're getting there. It's actually going faster than I thought it would, so that's good. Okay, now that I've chatted for 4 minutes here, let's get downstairs and get to work. But first, I'm going to eat a piece of Halloween Reese's. This one must have been poisoned. I could just tell, so I had to take this one as the, keep the kids safe. But I'm old and crippled, and I can handle the poison. So I'm going to eat it because I'm not wasting it. All right, video proof. Here's Mace. He's working on his gallon-sized bag of onions, and he hates me. But the end result should be worth it. All right, while he's working, I used this huge catering pan for my breadcrumbs. Here's the batch, but then Mason came down and he's like, why don't you use these leftover bread pieces too? Duh. Yes. The other day I made a cheesy everything sandwich loaf and it kind of got schmoopy. But it tasted amazing. And then I also made hamburger buns 2 days ago. So I'm going to chop all this up and turn this into breadcrumbs too, because we don't need to waste it. And this will be really good flavor to add to the meatloaf I'm using it for. So cool. All right, I am currently making the crescent rolls. The crescent roll dough, oh my goodness, for the pigs in a blanket. So, this is the easiest one to whip up, and I don't need help with this one, so we're doing that one. Quick, easy, and delicious. All right, over at my baking station, I also, when I was digging for things in the freezer, I had some hamburger bun dough. Just like this, in there. So instead of packaging them up, I just got the tray out and I am going to flatten them all out. And then I'm going to put some Monterey cheese and a bunch of chopped up ham. And then they're going to be rolled in everything bagel seasoning because we're obsessed with that right now. But that's what I'm going to do. I have some ham that I shaved myself off the big logs of them. And then the homemade dough. We're going to make little ham and cheese like hot buns. I don't know. They'll be delicious. Alright, the ham and cheese buns just came out. I just kind of ripped this open. There's cheese. I guess I could have crammed more ham in there, but it was like hard to keep it in there. But anyway, So I'm gonna dive into one of these. My massive mixing bowl of breadcrumbs that needs to be smashed more. And my onions, which have been cooking for over an hour, are taking forever to caramelize, but they're getting there. And then over here, now Goose is back, and she is wrapping the pigs in a blanket with the homemade crescent rolls, and some will have cheese in them, but it's more tedious to try to get the cheese in there, so only a couple will have cheese. And then we're giving up on that. But the day is rolling on and on and on. All right, we're jumping back in. We took about an hour break. It's now 7:30 at night, but that's all right. Pigs in a blanket are done. People already came and snatched some to eat right away. This is 6 pounds of meatloaf. There's some little chunks of cheese and some onion in there, you see. And then with the other chunk of that beef, I'm going to cook it up and do half of it is going to be like taco meat, and then the other half will just be like seasoned burger meat. I'm going to get the pigs in a blanket wrapped up, and then the ham and cheese buns also wrapped up and put away. So we're making progress, but man, it's an all-day project. All right, so people ate some fresh. I also left a portion for them to eat as leftovers, but I also wanted to freeze some. So I got my vacuum sealer out, and then I didn't suck the air out of here because they would smush. If I had time to flash freeze them, then I would, but it's fine. They're not going to last that long in the freezer. So they are sealed up in here. I have 4 of these. Only 3 people in the house will eat the ham and cheese, so that's enough. Everybody gets 1.5 now. And then this is like 30, I think I counted. So that's enough for a whole another meal for everybody, or as just a convenience food for people to air fry when they want it. So these are going into the freezer right away. All right, just another thing that I need to get done. I'm out of cold brew. I've been picking this up for $3.99 at the discount grocery store. It's decent, and it's better for me to have half calf. But yeah, so I get it in here, and I'm just going to put it in the fridge, and another thing that'll be delicious, and I'm the only one that drinks it, so that's perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in the fridge. It holds about 2.5 water bottles, bottled water. So I'll let this sit overnight, and then I'll have delicious cold brew tomorrow. All right, these are a serious labor of love. I just put one pan in the oven. I use the mini muffin tins. It works really well. I have this, and I have a whole nother batch. My caramelized onions are over there. My feta dip is over on the other spot, and we're just filling them, and then we're baking them. Filling them and baking them. A lot of work. This is how the chronically ill people do it. We persevere. All right, I don't know if I filmed any of this or not. It's been a long 2 days. But here is the last pan of caramelized onion feta bites. They're incredible. We already plowed through and ate a bunch from the other batches. I did 2 of these trays and 2 of the silicone trays worth. And so I'm going to leave one more batch out for fresh eating. And then all the rest are going to be put into the freezer so I can pull them out probably 2 more times, say, as like a nice holiday appetizer or, fun snack for some late night thing. Who knows? So I got that done. And then hang on, let me show you what else I got done. Over here next to the sink, I have a massive pot. Like, it's huge. It's a big pot. And that's about 10 pounds of potatoes turned into mashed potatoes. I'm going to portion these out with the meatloaf that I made yesterday and get those into freezer bags. So, a little TV dinner homemade style. Whew. Today is a labor of love. Well, the last few days. So, I got my homemade meatloaf and homemade mashed potato freezer meals ready. They're not as pretty. I forgot to pick up corn. I was going to add corn to these, but I forgot. So, we'll just have to add corn when we eat them or something, some other veggie. But corn is like a universal one that everybody will eat. But I forgot. Because I was going to get it at Sam's Club, but it was cheaper at Aldi. And then I forgot by the time I got to Aldi. But there they go. There's 8 of those. And then for the rest of these mashed potatoes, I'm going to just put them by themselves in vacuum seal bags. Probably 2-3 portions. And then we can just pull mashed potatoes out of the freezer and heat them up. And we'll have delicious homemade mashed potatoes whenever we want them. All right, I ended up getting 3 family-sized portions of mashed potatoes, and I like to flatten them out a little bit. It just really helps them thaw faster. And, you know, whatever. So they fit in your freezer better this way too, because you can kind of stack them. So I got 3 more family size portions, or even family size with extras, like with leftovers for us. Or if we have any guests over, these will be perfect. So let's go get those into the freezer too.